For many Americans, their retirement benefit from Social Security is not going to be impacted by their own work history, but is instead going to be impacted by their spouse's work history. So in today's video, I want to talk about the Social Security spousal benefit. I want to answer the question, who qualifies? How much is your spousal benefit? How do you calculate your spousal benefit? Talk about 3 exceptions you should be aware of. And then finally, I want to explore ways you could potentially use the spousal benefit to help maximize your overall long-term benefit as a couple. So who qualifies for spousal benefits? It's fairly simple. If you have been married for at least a year, you qualify for spousal benefits. And in fact, there's 2 exceptions we'll talk about in a minute, but it's pretty straightforward. You may also qualify for spousal benefits if you're divorced. Now, you had to have been married for 10 years and you can't have remarried. If you remarry, then you lose the qualification. But as long as you were married 10 years and you are not currently married, you can qualify for spousal benefits. Now, the one other thing you need to do to qualify for spousal benefits is your spouse actually needs to have begun claiming their own benefits. So if your spouse hasn't claimed Social Security yet, then you can't. The exception to that rule is if you are divorced. If you are divorced and you're at least 62 years of age and your spouse hasn't begun claiming benefits yet and you've been divorced for 2 years, then you are able to claim the benefits, even if your spouse has not, or your ex-spouse in this case, has not begun claiming their benefits yet. So that's the first question. So how do you calculate your benefit? As long as you wait to your full retirement age 66 or 67, you qualify for 50% of your spouse's primary insurance amount. Now, if you choose to claim your benefit earlier, then you're going to receive a significantly reduced amount. So let me just walk you through a chart here. So we're still under the assumption that your spouse's primary insurance amount is $2,000. If you wait to your full retirement age, your benefit will be $1,000 a month into perpetuity throughout the rest of your retirement. Now, if you claim your benefit at age 62, you're only going to receive 32.5% of their benefit amount. So $650 in this scenario. If you wait to age 63, you'll receive 35%, which is $700, and so forth. So if you reclaim your benefit early, you are going to receive a reduced amount. But if you delay, say, to age 70, there's no additional benefit. 50% is the cap. So that's an important thing to know. So here are a few exceptions to the typical spousal benefit rules. And I've already talked about one. The first exception is divorced. If you're divorced, you don't have to wait until your spouse, or your ex-spouse in this case, claims their spousal benefit. There are only 2 things you need to know. First, your ex-spouse has to be age 62, and then the other is you have to have been divorced for at least 2 years. But if your ex-spouse is at least 62 years of age, and you've been divorced for 2 years, then you can go ahead and claim your spousal benefit, even if your ex-spouse or your ex-spousal benefit, I'm not sure how you refer to that, but you can go ahead and claim that benefit, even if your ex-spouse waits till age 70 to claim theirs. You are not controlled by their decisions, which is a good thing. The second exception, and actually number 2 and number 3 are both around the rule that you have to have been married at least 1 year to claim spousal benefits. If you're the natural father or mother of the person that you're getting married to, even if you just got married, then you can go ahead and claim spousal benefits immediately. So you don't have that 1 year requirement. The other exception to the 1 year rule is if you were receiving benefits from someone else before you were married, the month before you were married. So let's say you were receiving spousal benefits from your ex-spouse, and then you decide to get married, you would immediately qualify for your new spouse's spousal benefits, and you wouldn't have the 1 year requirement. So there's just a couple exceptions to the typical rules. One other thing that's important to know is that you qualify for Medicare benefits as well, as long as you're age 65 and receiving spousal benefits. So even if you didn't pay enough into Medicare, you still qualify for free Medicare Part A benefits as long as you're age 65 and receiving spousal benefits. Now, you can only qualify to receive those benefits if your spouse is 62 years of age. So if your spouse is 3 years younger than you, let's say you're age 65 and your spouse is age 60, you're going to have a 2-year period where you might not qualify for Medicare benefits, and you're going to have to wait until they catch up. So during those 2 years, so if you're age 65 and they're 60, while you're waiting for them to turn 62, you may have to pay for Medicare Part A premiums out of pocket. But then once they turn age 62, then you'll qualify for free premiums. So just something to keep in mind around Medicare. So the final thing I want to talk about is a way that you can use the spousal benefit to potentially allow you to retire earlier, but also let you wait a bit longer to claim your full retirement benefits. So let me walk you through a strategy that I see a number of couples use. Let's say you have a client that's primary insurance amount at full retirement age is $3,000. This is the higher earning spouse. And if they wait till age 70, they'll qualify for $4,000. I'm making these numbers up. I can see some of you out there doing the math. Now, wait, he said it goes up by 8% a year. This is easy for me to walk through quickly. So $3,000 is going to be the primary insurance amount. If they wait till age 70, it'll be $4,000. And then they've got a spouse who qualifies for $1,000 a month on their own. Now, their spousal benefit is going to be $1,500. So they clearly want to take their spousal benefit over taking their own lower benefit. What they can do is they can go ahead and claim the lower earning spouse can go ahead and claim their regular benefit, which is only $1,000 a month. So they have some Social Security income coming in, and then they can delay taking their spousal benefit, and you can wait all the way up to age 70, let's say. And then at age 70, when the higher earning spouse files for Social Security, you can claim your spousal benefits, and you can move from taking $1,000 a month up to $1,500 a month. So this allows some income to begin flowing in, but also allows you to maximize your Social Security payment. So this isn't going to work for every couple, and you're going to have to run the numbers and think through it, and there's a lot of variables that go into this. But it is something that I see some of my clients doing, so they can go ahead and get some money coming in the door today, but also delay the higher earning spouse's Social Security as long as possible so they can maximize that benefit without giving up some income in the front end. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a little bit confusing. As I was trying to explain it here, I was like, that's confusing to explain. That's my overview of the spousal benefits. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this content, if you do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe, ding that bell, leave a comment. If you have a question, go ahead and ask it below. And then finally, I've got a video I'm going to link to that just gives an overview of ways you can maximize your Social Security benefits overall. So go ahead and link to that here. And then I'll also link to our Social Security playlist that you can go through and binge and watch all the different videos on Social Security. So thanks again for watching.